Internet Dwellers, and welcome back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library. I am Jeff, and quietly sitting in the wings of the bell tower, waiting for him to be told to ring the bell.
This is my chance. I'm going to do this. TC.
TC. Oh, TC. Hi, TC.
Oh, was I too soon on that?
You jumped the gun.
Ah,
you rang the proverbial bell too soon.
Oh, jeez. You know, I didn't know if we were going for comedy because you know, comedy's all about
timing.
Oh,
yeah. God damn.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
I'm doing great, TC.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to the Disney Animation Studios podcast. Yes,
we are back, and we are back with a movie that, okay, right off the bat, we're going to go right into this. Right off the bat.
Do this. What are we watching?
We watched the 1996 movie, that goes without saying, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, I have never seen this movie.
Ah, a first timer, a first experience for you. Okay. Okay, this is good. I will say I have seen this before, and maybe this goes to the content or maybe quality of the film. I remembered very little about it. But no, I'm not spoiling what I have to say about it. It's just I didn't have any very strong memories about this movie, except for one thing, which I will get to. But Jeff, please continue.
So I want to say, watching this movie was very, very interesting. It was. I know the story of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know the original Lon Chaney Sr. Hunchback of Notre Dame movie from the silent film movie. I've seen that a couple times, but I did not know what to expect while watching this, because we've come across movies in the past where they are adaptations of previous works or books or stories, and they don't, they've been Disney-fied. They don't quite follow the original. They go off on their own world. They come up with their own things and whatever. So I didn't really know what to expect out of this, but I don't know. I also don't want to reveal my thoughts regarding the film right now. I kind of want to play it through.
I will say that as far as adaptations go, this is an adaptation, and a very fine adaptation of previous adaptations. This is not a very accurate adaptation of the book, which now Wyatt sent us a link to a wonderful video essayist on YouTube, Lindsay Ellis. She does really, really great breakdowns of film analyses and whatnot, and she just happened last week, right after we finished recording, released a Hunchback of Notre Dame episode.
Oh,
her episode is specifically about the adaptation from book to screen. So we can just briefly discuss it right now, and I do recommend her video in terms of delving into the differences between the book and what we ended up seeing on the screen. But this is a very fine adaptation that even Victor Hugo himself would have approved, because Victor Hugo himself readapted Hunchback and changed it. So, like, anyone who wants to be like, this is nothing like the book, well, okay, fine. Even the author himself changed his book as he readapted it. So your point is invalid.
So what you're saying is it's okay for a creator to go back to his original work and change and modify it in some possible way, like George Lucas did.
Maybe not to that extent, but just in.
I had to make the connection. I could not let that one pass, everybody. Come on.
I defy any nerd to make it through a day without having at least some iota of a Star Wars reference come out of their mouth. I don't think it's possible. It's just not possible. But this adaptation, in terms of book to screen, no, it's not a very accurate one. But that's okay, because this is a very well done recreation of Lon Chaney Sr.'s. And doesn't Lon Chaney Jr. also have... am I thinking? No. Igor, what was his name?
From are you thinking like from like Young Frankenstein?
No,
like
no. It's another classic Universal monster movie actor did do an adaptation of The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So yes, this is definitely a reimagining of several people's ideas of what the Hunchback of Notre Dame is all about. And Jeff, your first experience, I'm very I don't know how do we approach this. So
well, maybe Okay, first off, I want to say first impressions of watching this movie, because again, since I had no idea what to expect, it's funny, I know the title,
Right.
God Help. Obviously, I know the title of the movie, and then two of the songs, I know the title. God, was it God Save the Help? God Help the Outcasts.
The Outcasts, yes.
And then I know, whatever. I know the All for One song someday. Shut your mouths, all of you out there laughing at me right now. The credits started rolling. I was making dinner when the credits started rolling, and I went, is that All for One? Oh, that's right. This is '96. That'd be the correct time frame. And I'm like, I kind of knew the song, I must have. I know I've heard that song. I knew it was All for One, and I recognized the song. I couldn't tell you what the lyrics were, I knew that much about it, but I did not know what to expect of it. First off, right off the bat, holy crap! This movie is dark and dramatic, like uber dramatic.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow!
This is the progression from Beauty and the Beast to Pocahontas and yes, there are movies in between, but I'm specifically pointing at Beauty and the Beast to Pocahontas to this Hunchback of Notre Dame as this Broadway. This is the Broadwayist of the films we've seen thus far, and actually this will touch on we do have a Katzenberg anecdote for this. Ooh. Because though Pocahontas was the last one he was directly involved with, he was involved with greenlighting and the early production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So there are still Katzenberg. This, however, is the last one that he had played any hand in whatsoever, because the movies that follow, he was gone, and he did play a part in pushing them towards Broadway. Andrew Lloyd Webber had massive success with Jesus Christ Superstar and Phantom of the Opera, and that's where certain audiences were turning. And with the success of the movies of the Renaissance, Katzenberg set his eyes on trying to create Broadway-worthy animated films. So to go Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas to this, this is so a production, a stage production. The pace of it, the tone of it,
we talked about. I'm glad you brought that up, because we talked about how Beauty and the Beast comes off very theatrical, very stage just even by the way that they blocked the characters. I think I made this comment during Beauty and the Beast about how a lot of the characters felt like they were playing out to the camera, like they were turned like they would on the stage. And I always looked at that movie as, this is a musical. This movie, The Hunchback. If you had told me, TC, that this was previously a Disney Broadway show that they adapted into a movie,
right,
I would have believed that.
Right, not the other way around. And it's not even a successful Broadway show. The Hunchback never actually played on Broadway. It played off Broadway. It had its run, but it never truly transitioned like Lion King and Beauty and the Beast had. And you're not wrong, man. This movie is dark. It opens with a woman getting thrown down and breaking her neck on the stairs. The threat of throwing a baby down a well. They say hell over a dozen times. Yeah. Damnation. This is dark, man.
My fourth note was, oh crap, did the mom just die when she fell down the steps? Because I just thought, she got pushed down, and I went, she's not moving.
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait. Oh my God, they just killed, she just broke her neck when she fell, oh my God. And then Frollo threatening to throw baby, oh my goodness. Quasi, thank you. I wanted to call him Hunchback, but I'm like, no, he's got a name.
I think Hunchback might be, I don't know if that's less or more offensive than Quasimodo. half mutant man. But yeah, I'm going to chuck this thing back where it belongs.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, this thing just gets serious. Oh man, it's so dramatic, but at the same time, like you were saying, the pacing, the way that the songs are integrated into the movie, into dialogue, that characters will be talking, and in the middle of talking, bust into a line from a song, and then come back into a line of dialogue, and then back into the song again. Very, very theatrical, very Broadway. I mean, obviously we have Alan Menken coming back again, doing the score of the movie. So
Yes,
he's been doing the score for the last handful of these, and. This time we have Stephen Schwartz who's coming back,
right? Because he did the music with Menken for Pocahontas as well.
For Pocahontas, that's right. And obviously Stephen Schwartz, having written, you've got Wicked is probably the more recent-ish one that people know that he wrote. But
yes.
man's been writing for ages and doing musicals, and it's definitely comes off like that, and the tone of the story feels very much so like a Phantom of the Opera. So I'm glad you referenced that. It feels like a Broadway show, and I kind of liked that a lot.
Let's focus on let's lean into that, because the music in this movie, most of the music in this movie is outstanding. Out There, Quasimodo's song coming, like first Frollo does sing to him for that little prologue of the song, but Quasimodo's Out There solo is incredible. This is the best of everything we've watched so far, male solo, and we haven't had many of those,
right?
Because it's easy to point to the princess solos such as Part of Your World, but Quasimodo's Out There song is unbelievably good. That song alone gives me chills for how good it is. And then of course there's Hellfire and God Help the Outcasts, which are both very, very moving, very incredibly well. I think they're underrated. I don't feel like people think of those songs. That might be because this movie itself has its issues that does not lock it into people's memories, such as Lion King and Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and Little Mermaid. But those songs are phenomenal. I wish that I had the pipes to sing Out There. I would like to think I could try, but
I mean, I'll even go as far as saying, like, I really enjoyed the Bells of Notre Dame, the opening song from this.
Oh yes,
just like introducing the whole world that it is. Like, it's in again, and that's immediately right off the bat is when my head went, oh, this is a show. This is not a movie. This is a play or a musical that I'm watching, because that song so perfectly sets up the world, gives you the backstory, the tone of the narrator. I kind of got a little bit of the vibe of the genie from the beginning of Aladdin. Just kind of felt a little bit like
it's prologue-y.
It's prologue-y. It's, hey, here's the character who is giving the exposition necessary for the audience to understand the world we live in.
Yeah, Clopin is the jester who does the prologue, and initially that was a spoken prologue, and smartly the filmmakers were like, "Wow, this is boring. We need," but
I'd like to think that's exactly how the conversation went. They were just sitting there in the theater 10 minutes and like, guys, this is just wow. We got to do something, guys. Well, this is stupid.
If those who are listening didn't go back and at least check out the music from Hunchback, thank you for bringing up that prologue song, because it slipped my mind. Listen to that last note that Clopin hits.
He kept going higher and higher. I'm like, the dude's just gonna explode. Ever seen that scene from Scanners where the guy's head explodes? It's that is what I was expecting. He was just going to blow up.
Oh man. Yeah.
How many Disney podcasts reference the horror movie Scanners from the 80s? I am sorry.
I had a buddy who, whenever he had a headache, he'd like touch his head. I go, "What's wrong?" He goes, "I got a headache." And I go, "Oh, you doing okay?" He's like, "Oh, have you ever seen Scanners?" That was always his response whenever he had a headache. But musically speaking, those dramatic music pieces are great. I don't particularly care for A Guy Like You, but that also leads to a discussion about the gargoyles themselves. We discussed the tonal inconsistency in Pocahontas last week.
Right.
And the tonal inconsistency is what really hurt what Pocahontas was. It really was a matter of you can't have it both ways, Pocahontas. You can either go into this dramatic love story or you can play up the cutesy sidekicks. It wasn't a huge shift between the two, but it was enough that it had bothered me. I can't recall how much it bothered you, Jeff. This movie, Hunchback of Notre Dame, oh my goodness, the tonal inconsistency between having hell, damnation, murder, you are a freak, don't let the people see you, cut the cheese. Like,
right. Well, and to the point where the few times that the gargoyles were on film, I kind of just zoned out. Like, I didn't care. I honestly, that I will say that right off the bat. A little bit insight into my feelings about this movie. If the gargoyles were not in it, I would have been 10 times happier.
I agree.
It would have been a much, much better film because they're already kind of these weird characters where I can't tell if they're actually supposed to be alive or is it just in Quasimodo's imagination? Like,
it's not clear. I thought the same thing for a while because they would turn to stone whenever someone else was around. Mm-hmm. But then they help in the final battle, and
right.
not help in like arbitrary ways. They legitimately help during the battle, and Dolly the goat sees and interacts with them. So
that's right.
I don't think the movie was clear enough about whether or not they were supposed to be figments and personality traits of crazy Quasimodo, crazy Modo, right?
Crazy,
or if they were coming to life. But yeah, the gargoyles themselves really damage this film's tone because, and I like Jason Alexander. I think Jason Alexander is a very, very talented comedian performer. Yes, George Costanza in terms of Seinfeld is concerned, but his Broadway stuff is great. He's to a lesser extent, he's I guess I could say the poor man's Nathan Lane. If you look at what Timon and Pumbaa were in Lion King, and now you have, you see what I'm saying? Like he falls into a lesser extent of John Candy even.
You can see them casting him because he was huge, still with Seinfeld at this point. He was big in his career at this moment. I mean, obviously he's been acting for ages prior to this, but you could see that they cast him to play this character in hopes of trying to recapture some of that that magic that the characters like what John Candy played in Rescuers Down Under and like Timon and Pumbaa. You saw
Gilbert
they
Godfrey.
tried.
Like it's become this very standard idea of Disney to cast some comedian of note to voice a side character, and the having the gargoyles talk and interact and have their goofy moments really does make that juxtaposition between the drama and the comedy so much more than I complained about from Pocahontas, because at least Miko and Flit and Percy the dog didn't talk.
Right.
Because now I want you to think about that. If they had goofy voices.
If they had goofy voices, I would have been all done. I would have been done with this movie.
Done.
So I'm like, I'm out. I'm out, guys. Sorry, can't do it. This movie's stupid.
Yeah. And it's that wanting too much. And and it does fall into Katzenberg in his style of pushing these films to be too many of things. He wanted to cash in on the success of other things, and it's this. As much as this is the logical projection or progression through a Broadway style animated film, you can also see how that's a failure in mimicking the movies that succeed before. You go from something like Scuttle, which is narratively consistent in Little Mermaid. He's very strong as a supporting sub-character. Mm-hmm. He does have the right amount of a goofy sidekick banter that just comes and goes, and then move that into Aladdin, where you get full-on Robin Williams. But don't look at Robin Williams, look at Gilbert Godfrey, which you push it a little further. Maybe there's just a little too much Gilbert Godfrey, and then you progress that to Jason Alexander with the gargoyles. In fact, you could just remove Jason Alexander's gargoyle, and I think that the other two would have worked. Victor was the one gargoyle named after the author, and Laverne was the...
Laverne.
Yeah.
Voiced by the awesome Mary Wicks, who has shown up in so many things of mine growing up. For those of you who are kind of remotely our age, if you don't know her, she was Sister Mary Lazarus from Sister Act 1
That's
and
right.
2.
The old tough one.
The old tough one. The old one, what the... Yeah. I know her from dozens... I mean, I think she was in... White Christmas, I think, was the other one.
She's the nosy...
Much younger than...
she's the nosy secretary, desk clerk in White Christmas. God.
Yep. And she unfortunately passed away before she finished doing her lines from this movie.
Oh, that's too bad.
So half the lines of Laverne are not her.
Really? Well done on the voice casting, because
Yeah.
I was fooled. It didn't once strike me that it was someone else talking.
But those two characters, sorry, and then get back to what you were saying, TC. I interrupted my own thought with a side note. But I completely agree with you that Laverne and Victor are more serious gargoyles. They do have their moments. They do have a funny joke or
Right.
so.
The birds, like, don't you birds migrate? Which, funnily
Yes.
enough, birds in France don't migrate.
Don't. I knew that one too. I know weird random trivia for some reason, TC. But like they were fine because they were the appropriate level of seriousness with the occasional a little goofy, just a little light humor, just
Sure.
kind of
Yeah,
sprinkled in.
They were wonderful parental analogs for Quasimodo. And Jason Alexander's character has the fart jokes, the snot jokes, the spit jokes. Like, it's take him out of the movie, and you've just improved this movie.
Like now, my question is like if Victor and Laverne are the like parental-esque
Surrogates.
gargoyles, but does that mean that Jason Alexander's is the like brother? Is it the younger annoying brother?
You know, like in old like late '80s, early '90s sitcom, there was always that annoying neighbor character. That's what he is.
Man. He's the annoying neighbor character that somehow became one of the main casts and the show went along and people loved him.
But it's not.
Totally.
I'm not. I don't want to pigeonhole. Just the gargoyle. That was completely unintentional. Because the tonal inconsistency does go throughout this. That you have the very opening of this film with these dramatic bell tolls, this grand look at the cathedral, and then you pop on down to Clapham doing puppets
Yeah.
for his prologue, and then you cut to not only that, you go from because then it goes to the murder of Quasimodo's mom, and then
Yep.
it comes back. Esmeralda, the Feast of Fools, which has this wonderful escape sequence from Esmeralda. Very, very well done. Very cool action sequence of sorts. And then that goes right into the church where freaking Frollo is like sniffing Esmeralda's hair. And he's like,
Frollo is probably the most confusing villain we've had, not in terms of motivation, just in terms of he's kind of a weirdo because he wants, obviously he is a form of power and he wants Esmeralda gone because she's a gypsy and he hates all the gypsies.
She's giving him bad thoughts. That's why he wants her gone. You're either mine or you're going to hell.
Exactly. like listening to the lyrics of Hellfire, when I looked him up to see if I was mistakenly hearing, and I was like, oh no, he's flat out saying that he is lusting after her and he wants her to be his, but if she says no, then he will kill her. Like, holy cow.
I think
this is not just a villain who wants power. This is a villain who's a little screwed up, just a little, I don't know how to describe him.
It's as much as Radcliffe represented, in a way, a realistic portrayal of that manifest destiny, which I talked about in Pocahontas. Mm-hmm. He was rooted in a reality which made him all the more villainous because his attitude was very realistic to the era that movie was set in. Frollo, even more so, the evil archbishop that is he's Judge Frollo in this, but he's part of the church, and the evil machinations of the church in the 15th century. That's not fantasy, folks. Like his attitude, what makes him so evil and cruel is really rooted in some real stuff, and that makes him all the more villainous.
Yes,
in a much different way than someone like Jafar, who is a fantastical villain.
Right.
Frollo is he's a dude's messed up, and he's a realistic portrayal of a villain.
He's also a massive I'm a massive jerk. I need to censor myself a bit there.
Let's keep it PG here,
Keep
Jeff.
it PG here. I don't know. This movie's G, and they got away with a lot of stuff,
No
so
way.
I could
Is this
probably
G?
get away.
I think
this is G.
This has got to be PG.
Nope. This is a G-rated film. It was borderline on being a PG film.
It's G? How
It
is
is
this a
G.
G film? I'm looking at
Right?
the IMDb page right now. How is this a G film, Jeff?
It would have gotten a PG rating during Hellfire when Frollo is looking in the fire at the dancing Esmeralda.
Yeah.
Her original drawing made her look nude.
Oh, well, I mean that's the point of the song, right?
Yeah. So they
Ay.
came back and they're like, if they told the ratings board told them that if they wanted to keep a G rating, they needed to at least make it obvious that she is wearing clothes.
Well, you know what? Esmeralda is kind of a cool character.
She is.
I do like Esmeralda as a character. She's maybe this is unfortunate. She's the third female of color main character in a Disney movie. If you look at Pocahontas and Jasmine before her, all three of those are very sexualized characters. It's just hitting me right now. I'm looking at the pictures of them.
Very sexualized characters that also do have a form of inner strength to them. Like they are kind of a fairly independent woman.
Yeah.
Of all three, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, still do need the men to save them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of disappointing.
She is a very proactive character. I do appreciate it. And Demi Moore did the voice of her as well. So actually,
I do feel like Esmeralda, though, real quick. I do feel like she feels to me like a distant cousin of Aladdin. There was a lot of just aspects of that character who lives on the street, who is smart and is able to take care of him or herself.
Staying one step ahead. Yeah.
Right.
I can see
like
that.
just that whole escape scene of being able to get away from them in that opening chase. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like she's got the core of Aladdin to her.
Yeah, that did not strike me. That's a very good observation. She really does have a lot of Aladinisms to her, and I like her. She's very kind. She does not flinch once at Quasimodo from the very moment she first sees him. He falls into her dressing room, and she's like, "Are you okay? You fell? Are you okay?" Like didn't even flinch once. A very kind heart to her. I'm curious, so how do you feel about Quasi not getting the girl in the end?
I'm not gonna lie. I struggled with that bit a little bit because it to me it does feel like he should have gotten her when it came down to it, but I do see his own not self-sacrificing, but he understands that she's not who he is supposed to be with.
Yeah, he's very selfless in the end when he puts her and Phoebus's hands together.
Right.
And it's part of me, I'm okay with him not getting the girl in the end. It kind of lends to what we just saw with Pocahontas as well. Sorry to keep going back an episode, but that didn't have a standard ending as well. She didn't end up with the guy. It makes her less of a prize for the hero. The prize of Quasimodo is his freedom.
I was going to say, being free and the acceptance of him in the city.
This movie does do something wonderful that maybe this is wonderful, I guess, from a different perspective. Some would say it's too on the nose. It states its theme at the very beginning, and it fulfills the theme at the end very, very clearly. And it's put in the sentence, who is the monster and who is the man? And that's a unique element to these Disney movies we've seen, which there are themes you can explore, the Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin in particular, Lion King, fulfilling your destiny and whatnot. But that to have that very clear who is the monster, who is the man, that's a great theme, and it's who's a bully, it deals with a universal theme, and I really appreciated that in it, and not having Quasimodo end up with Esmeralda in the end feels more fulfilling than had he won the girl.
Right. Well, because in the end, it would have had to have been like if he did end up with her, then Kevin Kline's character, Phoebus, then he wouldn't have had somebody, and then I feel like there still would have been this moment of like, well, Shouldn't have he have gotten like I don't even know what I would have done with his character in my head at that point. Like I don't know. It's just, he's there now. He's their good friend, yay! And the girl and the guy, the girl and the weirdo, or the girl and the monster gets to be together. I don't want to call him a weirdo. I very much so felt Quasimodo throughout the whole movie. So I've been there.
The nice thing about Phoebus though is that he does deserve what he get. Like he's a hero. He's a heroic character. He comes back. He hesitantly follows the orders of Frollo up front, but he does have a turn in his character. He does show the signs of his goodness right from the first time we meet him, and it's not like the wrong guy ended up with Esmeralda. She had two very good men standing in front of her, and I have no problem with Phoebus ending up with Esmeralda.
Right. I mean, it also goes to just show Quasimodo's character, because he was, like you said earlier, he was very selfless. He was the one that decided. Because I feel like at that moment in the movie when they're all holding hands, he could have turned to her, and she might have kissed him. Quasimodo.
Yeah.
Like they could have. It was kind of at this teetering point. Yeah, you know that she would have ended up with Phoebus. That's just how it goes. But there is a moment where I feel like they could have put Quasimodo that direction. Now that like where he instead of giving Phoebus, or not giving Phoebus to her, but like instead of putting them together, he could have turned and taken his place as the like the Beast character, and taken his place as her lover, as her significant other. But it would have pushed Quasimodo into a new like headspace, because he understands his place. He knows what he wants. He's gonna get what he wants. He understands that, he is not for her.
Yeah, his goal was not to win the girl. His goal was to get out into the world, which is what he wins in the end. So it's less about her being a prize for him, and more about the acknowledgement of his heart through her, through Phoebus, through the entire city itself. It's beautiful. I love that. I love that about this movie.
I do too. There's definitely a lot of little details in this film kind of scattered throughout that I got a huge kick out of. Just tiny little things. One, I want to say this right off the bat. I think it's during Quasimodo's song in the beginning. I think it's during Out There.
Yeah.
When he's talking about like looking out onto the city and the people kind of just going about their business, there is this zooming shot in of the city street. And in that city street, a man is holding magic carpet.
Oh, okay.
And Belle walks past that man reading a book.
Someone did mention that Belle's in there somewhere. I didn't know where she was. It makes sense. It's France. She's French.
It's France, and it's kind of in that same time frame. Who knows? She might have walked to Paris to get a new book that day, and then was coming home. You don't know this stuff.
You
don't know.
That's a good little detail. That's a good little detail.
I loved that, and then my other little, one other like tiny detail that I caught that I loved was after Frollo's Hellfire song. Obviously, okay, I interpreted that song as he had been drinking, and he
did wake up with a hangover,
right? Because I loved the tiny detail that his eyes were a little red, a little bloodshot still.
Yeah, when the next scene when he comes out of the carriage and he's like, "Oh God, hey, you okay?" Yeah, it's yeah.
like I love that a little. Like that line was not needed. There's no reason why they had to have that in this movie. They could have skipped that, just moved on with the next scene, continued on. The fact that they addressed the fact that dude probably was drinking, got a little drunk, sang the song Hellfire, and then passed out like he did at the end of the song.
Yeah.
And then woke up the next morning with a hangover. This is a G-rated Disney movie, and they
still shocks me. This is G-rated.
Indirectly made reference to getting drunk and hungover. Like that was a nice little detail.
Murder and rape, Jeff. G-rated.
Yeah, I know. I looked past the murder and rape and went right to the hungover.
Well, a little attention to detail. So this is. I don't know if anyone else would catch this. This is just because of for those listening may not know, I have a visual deficiency when the way I see things through my eyes is I only have 50% of my vision. So I often look more at the right side of a screen than the left side of the screen because I can't see to my left. It's just whatever. Because of that, and I am always engaged in the illustration and animation of eyes. I know the whole eyes are the windows to the soul. I love drawing eyes. And I always study the eyes of the characters when we're watching these movies, because a lot of detail. Oh gosh, to think of Ariel's eyes when she's singing "Part of Your World." There's a great moment in that. Jasmine and Aladdin's eyes when they connect with one another. Well, something that was drawn to my attention was in just how I perceive things. Quasimodo's left eye, which would be on the right side of my screen, doesn't reflect any light. And there's never, it's something that I notice because often you just put a little white dot in a pupil to signify that light is being reflected. It's a simple illustration animation trick. And his right eye does have that. It's this beautiful eye with reflection, but the one on the right side of the screen, his left eye, never does. And I did read The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think it was my freshman year of college for a literature course. Quasimodo's blind in his left eye in the book. So the attention to detail that the animators had was a very subtle way to show that he's blind in his left eye. Don't reflect light through it.
Oh, man. I completely missed that.
Well, again, I don't know if that's something that anyone would even have noticed, but because of the way I perceive things, it caught my eye. So I took that into consideration that is perhaps deliberate. Maybe that's a really silly little, I don't know if that's a theory, but I don't know. I'd like to think the attention to detail was put into that little element.
I feel like that is. I feel like because then if there is no seeming life in that eye, it just makes him be even seemingly less human.
Yeah.
Not that he's not human, but it just because now there's a part of his face that obviously the deformity of his face is big and is key, but the fact that there is a physical, like deadness to that portion of his face, which just makes it even sadder or worse, basically.
Yeah.
And just makes him feel less human.
And yet,
I don't like saying that.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, that's his whole physical ailment and deformity is the surface, and then when you look past that, you find this beautiful soul. It's funny, Esmeralda. I believe it's Esmeralda who says it. How could someone so kind and wonderful have been raised by Frollo?
Yep.
And that's just the goodness of Quasimodo. He's a beautiful, optimistic, kind character, portrayed so well in those little details and in his actions and everything he does through the course of this movie. He's a great hero.
I loved Quasimodo. I really enjoyed a lot of this movie. I really did. When it came down to it, I found much enjoyment in most of this film.
I as well, though it really that the damn tonal inconsistency just constantly. There'd be little moments where I'd roll my eyes, like to have three guards take a nut shot and squeal, to have the Goofy holler when they're flying off the parapets. Those moments just kept snatching me out of the movie, and I'd be like, God, stop doing that.
I almost wonder if this isn't a movie that could benefit from a little like tweaking and editing.
You do a fan edit of have you've done fan edits. You and I have done fan edits together.
Yeah.
I've never even considered doing an animated fan edit.
Right? And I feel like this one would be good because it's kind of there, and what you would just need to do is pull out some of those more, for lack of a better term, goofy moments, I guess.
Yeah.
Like those too lighthearted moments that just kind of pull you out of it. I actually think it would be easier to do a fan edit of an animated film.
Right, because you don't have to worry about like syncing lips and...
Right. Also, I think it'd be easier to digitally erase characters.
Oh, oh man, Jeff. You know what?
I'm intrigued now. I'm not gonna lie.
Hashtag Hunchback fan edit. I want to hear from the listeners out there if they want to see that.
Like seriously, in all fairness, guys and girls and children of all ages who are listening to this, let us know in the comments this week if you would watch a version of this film that has the tone adjusted.
Yeah.
And we're not saying like we're not going to get rid of giant chunks, because I have a history with my fan edits of just pulling crap out of it that's not necessary. I'm not saying that, but if people would be interested in seeing a version where we try to like smooth out those tonal inconsistencies, because that could be fun. That could be fun.
Yeah.
I've never done an animated film. We've never done them, and that'd be
Yeah.
No, my mind's one. Great, yet another project that Jeff has to work on.
You need 1,000 projects. That's fine.
I do. I'm only up to 926. I need like 75 more.
Pick it up. But
I can't do math.
To get back to the review itself, we are praising this movie, but I do feel like I need to continue to be hard on it in certain elements, like when Clappin and the guys kidnap or have Phoebus and Quasimodo, and they're gonna kill them in front of everybody. Like it's more of that. It's like, what the heck was this movie going for? You can't have a bunch of guys jumping around in skeleton costumes and also try to be funny at the same time. Not when you I don't know. I'm so conflicted about this movie overall. Sitting here watching it, trying to being engaged by it, but also continuing to have those moments where I'm taken out of it. It's just, I don't know. Sorry.
You're right where I am. You're right where I am.
Yeah.
Where there's this. I don't have.
I think I got it.
100% of opinion.
I think you have to be in a mood to watch this movie. Now, that goes without saying, you have to be in a mood to watch any movie, but where is something like Aladdin, or if you go older and you look at some of the movies like Pinocchio, if you want to go all the way back to the front, like there are some movies where they might catch your attention and you'll watch them. But I think with Hunchback of Notre Dame, you're making a commitment to sit down and watch this. This isn't a casual view. This is one that asks of your attention, and that does speak more to the adult themes, the adult stylings of this movie, that it is something that it's like, oh no, this isn't something you just pop in and watch. You got to commit to watching this. That you have to be in a mood to watch this movie,
right?
More so than movies we've seen in the past. And I think that's where I fall, where it's going to be maybe today, or maybe watching it for the review, I felt one way, but now having our discussion, I feel about it a different way, more so than other films we've talked about. Yeah, you have to be in a mood to watch this one. I think that's what it really comes down to, for me at least.
Now, I think I went into this one being a little more excited because I had not seen it, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Like Pocahontas, like I said, I couldn't really remember anything that happened into it until we started watching it, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I do kind of remember this, and maybe that, and then again, maybe it was just the day I just wasn't mentally ready or in the right mind space to watch that movie. But when I sat down to watch this one, because I hadn't seen it and I knew nothing about it going in, I must have just been in the right frame of mind where I'm like, yep, all right, let's watch this. And this is going to go a little bit into my opinion and my, we'll touch upon this a little bit a few minutes from now when we talk about our ranking of these movies. But I sat down and I was there. I was in the right frame of mind and I watched it and I was making my notes and I got up to go, like I was making dinner and stuff like that. Like I said, I was in the process of doing that. And when I did that, I paused the movie.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to miss it. I'm like, no. I need to, I don't want to just let it run and then walk away and maybe miss something. I stopped the movie twice when I had to get up to do something. Not because I was bored and I just wanted to get up and walk away, but it was because I didn't want to stop watching it.
That speaks of the film, yeah. We did have some good amount of comments on this one. Which,
it seems like people are kind of split on this one, actually.
Yeah, I think we can all. There's a lot of agreement in the music.
Yes.
we didn't quite mention. I don't think we mentioned this. The visuals of this film are breathtaking.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I watched the most recent Blu-ray release of this. I don't know what version you watched, but it's a gorgeous looking movie. The blend of CG to live act, or the hand drawn stuff. We are moving further and further towards all CG animated films. But
Now, I will say real quick, some of that crowd looked really bad.
oh well, yeah. There's the whole like copy and paste element that is definitely indicative of the '90s CG.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned Star Wars once already, but Phantom Menace. I think they had like 6 Gungans and they just repeated them 1,000 times for that celebration at the end because.
Yep.
And yes, there are waves of crowds in here that they do have that lazy little bit of animation to it.
Right.
But in the character moments, with Quasimodo moving through the cathedral. The sweeping shots without the people in them over the city of Paris are beautiful. This is a very, very, very good looking film.
It totally is, and I will flat out agree with that. It's a beautiful movie. I'm pretty positive that was like my second comment that I wrote down,
Wow.
And I think I wrote it down like 4 more times as it went through, just because the animation, the attention to detail in the animation is beautiful. The just like the vistas, the sweeping shots. That opening shot that like goes through the city and over the rooftops and up to the cathedral, that is only broken once when they actually land on the cathedral.
Yeah.
And then they do a cross dissolve to it to continue the move. Just like had that been one long shot, which I'm not gonna lie, I might try to make it be one long shot if we do hashtag Hunchback fan edit. Just because that, like, if that had been one long shot, that would have been just mind-boggling. Like, how I know this is 96, I know this is only 21 years ago, but how did you do that
Right.
and make it look so amazing?
So we've discussed this before, that Walt himself, I mentioned this last week, Walt, when he was alive, he had some regret that he couldn't use animation to tell much broader, much more scope, bigger films of scope. Like, he wanted to move away from the cutesy, kid-friendly stuff. Maybe not like move away from it and leave it behind, but he wanted to play more in a dramatic world. And Eisner, this is his favorite film of his tenure, which is, take that for what you want. Eisner is, as much as Katzenberg was responsible for a lot of the good and the bad, Eisner was the head of Disney, so he had a lot to say in how things played out as well. He considers this his favorite, maybe not the best, but he calls it his favorite because he feels this was the closest to what Walt had always dreamed of doing, to tell a story of such gravity. That Hunchback of Notre Dame would have made Walt very, very happy, and therefore it made Eisner love this movie the most. So he didn't call it the best of the Disney library, but it was his favorite for that reason.
Hey. And you could have a favorite movie that obviously wasn't the best. Obviously,
yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. So
I enjoy the Fast and the Furious movies. What am I?
see, you have nothing you can talk about. So TC,
Yeah.
So TC, I am kind of curious. I know we're only about like 40 some odd minutes.
I
into
got
this, but
quite a few comments we can go to after we discuss what you're about to ask me.
Yep. Well, so TC, of all the movies that we have watched so far, that was the laziest way that I could have worked myself into that. Where would you rank this movie?
So we've seen
On
4
your
so
list?
far. We've seen, in order, we've watched Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Hunchback. Correct?
Yep.
And whereas I said Aladdin and Lion King are neck and neck, like those two are just neck and neck. Watching this movie, before we even started this discussion, Hunchback and Pocahontas were neck and neck for me as well. And maybe it's this conversation we've had in diving a little more deep into our thoughts and feelings about this, but see, this is tough. I initially had it at the bottom. I was going to put it as 4, but
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to make it my number 3 because
Oh,
Colors of the Wind is the standout moment in Pocahontas. But overall, the rest of that film, though it is pretty, though it does some neat things, that's it. Color of the Winds, okay, I guess just around the river bend as well. Jeez, Jeff, I don't know. Because I love Out There. Out There is one of my top 10 Disney songs of all time. If you asked me to make a list, Out There would definitely be on that list. I think God Save the Outcast, God Help the Outcast is one of the most underrated Disney songs. And Hellfire is just a damn good song as well. But I really, really can't get past those tonal inconsistencies with especially Jason Alexander's gargoyle and the fart jokes and the ball shots and the movie just not committing to a tone.
So you're number 3?
I'm gonna go with number 3. I'm gonna put it my number
Okay.
3. It's a close call between Pocahontas and Hunchback, and maybe it's because Hunchback is now fresher than Pocahontas. But yeah, I'm gonna make it my number 3. So Aladdin, Lion King, Hunchback, Pocahontas.
Okay.
Tight race between the top 2 and the bottom 2. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna put it. And Jeff, now I ask you, where are you gonna put it on yours?
So I had a hard time figuring this out personally. I went into this not knowing where I was going to rank it. I knew it was not my number 1.
Yeah.
I guarantee. I was like, no, I'm sorry. Aladdin is my number 1. It will be for some time.
Maybe. There's some
Maybe.
more movies you haven't seen on this list.
That is true. Though I do know that there's a big contender that we have yet to watch that it's going to be pretty dang close.
Anyhow.
So I knew it wasn't my number 1, but I did not rule out it being number 2 on my list.
Wow, against Lion King, huh?
Because I'm not going to lie, I really liked this movie. I fully enjoyed this film. Like, completely. Now I don't know, and I know actually no, I'm pretty certain this is why. I did not see initially the tonal inconsistencies
Oh, okay.
while watching it the first time around. Now, I agreed. Like I made the comment about the gargoyles. Like whenever they popped up, I just like I don't care. Get moving. Let's just keep going with the story. Like I didn't care about them because they did seem very kiddish, too kiddish to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. I wanted more of Quasimodo. I wanted more of Frollo and Esmeralda. Those are actually the 3 characters I cared about. I love hearing Kevin Kline's voice. I'm a fan of Kevin Kline.
I do love Kevin Kline.
Yep, he's always good. I always enjoy him when he's in movies. But I didn't care that much about Phoebus. I kind of just like, all right, let's just keep going. Come on, let's keep going. And it wasn't until him and Quasimodo like team up at the end to go find the city or to go find the underground gypsy world that I even remotely kind of cared about him.
Yeah.
But having said that, I do agree, and our conversation has definitely cemented it. Whereas yours, it is just above Pocahontas, that it's a close race between those two. Mine, it's just below Lion King.
Okay.
Like, I am talking...
Our lists are still the same.
It's still the same, everybody. They are still the same lists, but I will tell you right now, if Jason Alexander's Gargoyle had not been in this movie, it would have been my number 2.
Number 2. Wow. Okay. That's neat. I like that it affected you much differently than it seemed to have affected me.
Right. Well, and I know a lot of people who kind of have the same feeling about this. Like just even doing some reading of reviews and knowing what some people I know have thought about this movie. And I don't know if had I grown up watching this and if I had seen it like a dozen times, or if I had seen it as a kid, if my opinion would have been different.
Yeah.
Because would it have been a little more nostalgia lenses on, or would there have been just something else interfering with that? But I don't know. But as watching it as an adult and concentrating on it's the story about an outcast, multiple outcasts, obviously, hence the song. But one main guy who just wants to be accepted. Like as an adult, I connected with that story more than I think if I had been a kid I would have connected to it.
Okay. Yeah.
And not saying that I'm Quasimodo, I'm not saying that, but I mean, TC, you do know that half my face is all deformed like him, and I have a hump. But
it's strange though, because it's like one side of you is handsome, and then the deformed side is more handsome. It's really strange. Like,
it's like a reverse Jekyll and Hyde / Two-Face. That's what it is.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
I am the opposite Two-Face.
Like one side looks like Chris Hemsworth Thor with the long blonde hair, and the other side looks like Chris Hemsworth Thor from Thor 3.
It's a strange combination, but it's pretty true. It's pretty true. Really, it just means that the right side of my head is shorter hair, is what you're telling me right now.
I mentioned this, that there is a modern sensibility in terms of if you approach this from watching someone get bullied, because Quasimodo is bullied by people in this movie and how he overcomes that. There's definitely something I can appreciate in Quasimodo as this this very loving, very well done protagonist in having been bullied myself, having experienced a lifetime of being picked on and whatnot. I can truly appreciate how they address that in this. It's a universal theme that's going to exist forever. There's always going to be the outcasts, and how you overcome being persecuted like that, whether it's as grand as what Frollo does to the gypsies, or as simple as this very emotionally abusive relationship between Frollo and Quasimodo, or right there in the middle, which is how Paris reacts to Quasimodo. That's beautifully handled in this film, and that is something that is far more unique to this version than previous versions, to even the book, because the book does not necessarily deal with that element of what we see in this Disney movie, and I can truly appreciate that as a great move in the adaptation. To seriously, the line of who's the monster and who's the man is such a fantastic theme that they explore between the beginning of the movie to the end. So, and
it's just I want to go back and listen to the score. Like,
yes, oh yeah,
ASAP.
It's seriously, I will say it again. Out there, it's just such a good song.
It's such a good song.
Well,
and also, so for any of you, real quick, anybody out there, just in case you guys do want to see it, I know usually we talk about like, well, most of these are all on Amazon. You can rent them. You have to pay to rent them. They're not part of Prime. Yeah. But I watched mine off of Hulu. It's on Hulu right now.
Oh, excellent.
So that's where I watched mine, and oh man, I want to go watch it. I want to do a hashtag Hunchback fan edit. Right. I want to do it. I think this would be a great idea. Please, people, tell me if I'm just not crazy. If I'm crazy, then I'm just going to do it for myself, and now you'll get to see it.
With the bowling element mentioned there, I want to see it, by the way. I'm not trying to cut you off there.
No, you're just trying to keep the show running, TC.
Would you sit a kid down to watch this?
That's
while you think of that, I'm going to say no. I don't think that there is enough in this film to sit a child down in front of them to ask of their attention, and let alone not freak them out.
Right.
They're perfectly legitimate scary moments in Disney movies we've seen up to this point that are frightening, that could really maybe give a kid a couple of bad dreams, but this movie as a whole is just way too dark to sit a kid down in front of, and it's just not the right movie to if you're babysitting. Don't put this movie in. However, I do think this is a movie worth exploring later. Something that's there's those Hot Topic style movies that I feel are a little like on the nose in terms of like, okay, we get it, you're goth, you're emo, right?
Right.
This is something that has a little more depth to it that might fall into a better category for those kids who are dealing with being bullied and don't have a good outlet to express their feelings about it. And so, not a kid, no, a teenager, yeah.
Teenager, definitely. And I don't know, maybe, like I said, I wonder if that's why, as an adult, I really enjoyed this movie, but like I said, I think maybe as a kid I wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much.
Yeah.
Because even as a kid, I watched movies like Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast, and I know that Beauty and the Beast came out, what do we say? That was 1991, right? Or 1990? 91. So I was 7 when that movie came out. But still, that movie, growing up as a kid, that movie I watched because I wanted to be Beast.
92, sorry.
92, okay.
Nope, 91.
Okay. I will edit that all out, and this will seem flawless. He lied.
You're a kid.
So I'm a kid. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm a kid. But I watched those movies, and I wanted to relate to the hero. I wanted to relate to the guy that got the girl. I wanted to be the prince as a kid. I was bullied a lot growing up. I was not a very thin kid. I was one of the fat ones that didn't do anything.
Half your face looked handsome, the other half looked super handsome. It was really, really odd.
But it was all in the days before the Hemsworths were a thing, so nobody knew what to relate to it. They didn't know these blonde Australians.
Australians?
That's terrible.
Both of us just slaughtered the Australian accent there, Jeff.
I am so sorry to anybody who is from Australia.
Aussie listeners, yeah.
Any of our Aussie listeners. But I didn't want, at that time in my life, I would not have watched a movie about somebody getting bullied.
Yeah.
or being like I would not have I would not have been entertained by that. And I think I fell out of Disney at in my eyes the right time, where I left the Disney movies before they went this path.
Yeah.
And but as an adult, I can come back to it and I can look at him going, yeah, I've been there. I understand how it is, and you know what? I'm happy that he got to be kind of left alone. Like I'm glad that he got to be.
He got to be accepted.
Happy. Yes, that to me. So I am more attracted, not the right term, but I'm more attracted to this film because I can look past the few. Like yes, definitely the pacing things, which I still acknowledge, and yes, they are a problem. But I feel like a little more attracted to it because I liked the story. I liked what it was telling me. But yes, I agree. I would not sit down. I would not show a kid it because it's too much. It's not right for them. No. It's good for adults. It's good for teenagers who will understand what the message is that it's trying to convey.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm curious to hear what some of the listeners said. We do have some comments that I'll hit up in just a moment here, but before we get to that, were there any tropes? I know one.
You know what? I've unfortunately not been keeping track of them that much.
Do we have a hit list of how many people fall to their death? Because I feel like there's at least a dozen or a half dozen at this point, not a full dozen.
I need to look it up, but definitely Frollo falling to his death when he was up on the ledge. And Quasimodo and
just
Esmeralda
imagine you going, I'm just going to write this down right now.
Just going to write this down. Like when they're hanging off the edge, a la the end of Tim Burton's Batman, I'm like, well, this is not going to end well at all. And sure enough, there he goes, falling to his death.
To the hellfire.
Fire. Yeah. I liked that.
Straight to hell with that guy. There's the animal sidekick in Dolly the goat, which is from the book. Dolly the goat
which is so weird.
From the book. There's a horse. There's Achilles the horse in this. Phoebus's horse, Achilles, which is such a dumb pun. But he says Achilles, heel.
Heel.
Like, yeah.
I laughed at that, and then I went, wait, did they do that on purpose?
They totally did that on purpose.
And then I'm sitting there going, wait, they made that joke?
Yeah. That not the worst. Actually, I think the joke that irked me the most in the entire thing, if it's not cut the cheese or I'm losing to a bird, it's did you watch all the way to the end of the credits?
Yes, where he pops back.
Just for like a split second, Jason Alexander's gargoyle comes back on and they're like, good night, everybody! Jesus Christ.
I feel like that was simply to terrify the theater workers who were cleaning the theater at that point.
Oh, boy. Well, I have quite a few comments on this. We'll see how many I get to right now. But right. From Twitter, you can hit up me at TC's Big Head. You can also hit up Jeff at Random Bell. Any tweets from you, Jeff?
No tweets, okay. Not regarding the movies, okay. Unfortunately.
That's fine. We also have our Facebook.com/TopShelfPod, where you can see all the episodes before we post if you want us to discuss something, or if you want to get into a conversation after you've heard what we've had to say. We post there every episode, every Monday. We record, every Wednesday we air the episode. But quite a few responses here. Some quick ones. Schulze says, Hunchback of Notre Dame, not a fan. This is the hit or miss section of Disney's library. You're not alone there, Schulze. I've said Lion King was the peak, so we're on the downturn here. Lindsay Shank from Top Shelf Oscars comments.
Lindsay.
Great music, not so great story.
So same kind of agreement. Same kind of agreement. Definitely.
I would suggest Lindsay getting up on Hulu and maybe rewatching the movie.
Lindsay. She just told me to shut up. You guys didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it.
I heard it from the future.
That's so weird. I'll hit this tweet real quick. This is from @Fangirl. That was not Quasimodo's mother. Skin tone, hair color.
Esmeralda's.
Well, I don't know if it was all the gypsies in this. So she pointed that out, and I actually saw this tweet.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
I saw this tweet before where I started watching the movie, so it did stick in my head. Yeah, Quasimodo he's very Caucasian. He's got ginger hair, and all the gypsies in this movie are dark skin tone, dark hair. So, I mean, Esmeralda has green eyes, but I don't think Quasimodo is a gypsy. So maybe they, because even I read that tweet. I started watching the movie. One of the first line of dialogue is "Shut it up, shut that thing up." Like the guy who's like escaping with the, he doesn't say the baby, he doesn't say shut the kid up, shut him up. No, shut it up. So, her comment, her tweet, I'm assuming it's a girl, her name's Fangirl, is that that's not Quasimodo's mother. Well, I'm.
Is it more of just a caretaker? Is that, or just so, it's a woman who found him or something? Is it that?
So it's 15th century France, and there was, in those centuries, it was pretty standard to toss out a deformed baby.
Right.
And perhaps the gypsies just rescued a baby, regardless of what they looked like, which goes to the inherent goodness that Quasimodo has in him, instilled all but subconsciously by a mother who was willing to take him in. The other thought might fall into maybe a Katzenbergism, which is whitewashing Quasimodo so he doesn't look like a gypsy. That's I don't know. I don't really have any way to support that as a remark, but that might be a way to look at it. I don't know. It's a fair tweet because Quasimodo does not look like any of the gypsies.
Right.
So yeah,
you could very well argue the reason why he doesn't look like it is because he is deformed. It's possible that he has. I'm completely spacing on the skin disease.
He's albino.
He might be albino. Like it's you could argue quite a bit. Honestly, it never crossed my mind that he didn't look like a gypsy.
Oh yeah, because
when I knew, even though I knew he was from the gypsies, or was supposed to be from the gypsies, I guess it still never quite dawned on me that that there would be that like I never thought about that.
Yeah,
that's fascinating.
It was something that jumped. It was a good tweet. Thank you for the tweet, Fangirl, and I appreciate that. Just a thought that crossed my mind that if it's either, I would rather go from the school of thought that it shows the inherent goodness in people that they would be willing to rescue a baby that's not their own. Mm-hmm. I'd rather go with that than the more cynical take of, well, we couldn't have a brown-skinned hero, blah, right?
Yeah.
Which is a very, very unfortunate thought process that crosses a lot of Hollywood executives' minds, whether it's deliberate or not. So I'd rather go from the optimistic point of view.
I will agree.
So over at the Facebook group, Natasha says, the music is beautiful in this movie. Also, if you look closely, you can see Belle walking through town. Yes, Natasha. Jeff had the sharp eyes on that one. I did not.
Also, and I was doing this while we were talking. I was just kind of bouncing around the internet. You apparently in that same exact moment, there are two men walking with like a caught pig on a post, and it's Pumbaa.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Which means
those
two men went to Africa
and then
walked Pumbaa back.
No, I refuse. It just looks like Pumbaa, just like it looked like Lady and Pongo in Oliver and Company, but it wasn't that.
True. Fine, but it was Belle.
So Andrea remarks, I don't even know where to start with this one. Throwing babies in wells, yes, we agree, Andrea.
Yep.
Esmeralda's pole dancing, completely forgot to mention that.
Oh, I know. I had a note. That was one of my notes. I went, did she just pole dance
You know
briefly?
what? She was voiced by Demi Moore, and the same year she did Striptease, so she had that already worked. She had already learned how to pole dance, so she was just applying that in every movie she was in the 90s.
Esmeralda wasn't actually Demi Moore.
What?
I mean,
you shut up.
It was just her voice.
Frollo punishing himself for feelings of that's it. The scary catacombs. This is not a kids movie. I do like God Help the Outcasts. When I was watching this on Sunday, I remembered my sister sang that song at church once. What?
Wow.
I have no idea why on earth Disney would think this was a good story to tell, though. Well, first off, why was God Help the Outcasts sung in a church? I need to look at the lyrics again. That seems wildly out of place. But, it is a very good song. And in terms of why would Disney think this was a good story to tell, I don't know. I hope we gave you a little insight there that this was the type of movie that Walt always wished he could tell. But you know what? We didn't talk about this, Jeff. I did mention that fine line in tone. Mm-hmm. And I think we're on the wrong side of this line right now because the best of Disney, of all the movies we've seen up to this point, the best of Disney are the movies that you just can't help but watch. if they're on, you can't help but watch them. You can't help but appreciate them. And though you did praise Hunchback quite a bit, Jeff, I don't feel like this quite hits all the marks for what makes a truly classic, great animated Disney film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that weird. I don't want it to be too goofy, but I don't want it to be too serious. It's a weird taste thing that I feel affects me in my viewing of it.
One of those things that we used to talk about was that whether like in how we used to, or like I still kind of do, how I rank it amongst other films is whether or not I would sit down and watch it again.
Yeah.
Because that ultimately is my deciding factor. Like if I was handed Aladdin, Lion King, and Hunchback and Pocahontas, which movies would I watch and in what order?
Yeah.
And I would watch Aladdin and then Lion King, and then I would watch this movie, and then Pocahontas. I just probably would go to bed and I forget to watch it. But
I fell asleep watching it again.
I fell asleep watching it. Guys, did she marry the guy or not? No, okay, I don't care. But I feel like I do agree. Like I feel like the watchability of a film is partially. Or it's obviously it's connected to the overall tone and and just what makes these movies good.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought halfway through my sentence. I'm so sorry, everybody. But I would watch this again, even while praising it and while talking about some of the negative stuff. I would definitely watch this film again. Whereas a movie like Pocahontas just had too many inconsistencies for me to fully entertain watching it a second time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for the comments and the tweets, everybody. Thomas also praises God Help the Outcasts. Again, proving that we do have. I think everyone's in agreement that the music really kicks ass in this movie.
Heck yes. Hey, if this movie can say damn, hell, damnation, and
then our podcast can say
our podcast can say the same thing, guys. How about that? Everybody okay with this? All right. So hell,
hell, damn, ass, fart. There, nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay, Jason.
But I think that does it for this episode, Jeff. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap this up?
No. I wanted to say that having hit back, having gotten a chance to watch a movie again that I have never seen was a lot of fun, and it definitely just did not disappoint me.
Yeah.
And while not placing it number 1 or 2 on my ranking, I totally, if this movie was on television, I'd watch it again.
All right.
And I might very well listen to the music as soon as we're done recording. Right.
You got me the full on Little Mermaid score. I might ask you to get me this one.
I'll see what I can find.
Thank you, Jeff. So what are we watching next week?
Well, everybody, next week we're gonna watch yet another movie that Jeff hasn't seen. Right? I know.
Okay.
I only know the Michael Bolton song. Because that's where I roll. I know all the credit versions and credit covers of these songs. But next week we are watching the 1997, so just turned 20 years old back in June, movie Hercules.
Hercules.
I'm kind of excited. I'm definitely excited. I'm not kind of excited. I'm definitely excited to see this one because I do know Hades, right?
Yep.
James Woods does Hades.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am so stoked to see that.
Hello,
That's
Hades, Lord of the Underworld. Good to see you.
I am so happy. I am. That is what I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see James Woods be Hades. That sounds like fun.
I am looking forward to going back to this as well. It's been quite a few years since I've watched it, and we will discuss that soon. So keep an eye out for the post if you guys have any questions for us about Hercules. Look for the post next week so you guys can toss them at us. Otherwise, look forward to that next episode and our thoughts and feelings on it. Jeff, this was fun.
TC, it is always fun. It's great. It's great to hear you, matey.
It's great to hear you. No, wait, that was
great to
what are we doing?
I don't know. TC, quick, do the sign off.
This was a podcast. We were the people talking, and this is a sign off.
Yay! Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Nailed it.
Nailed it, TC. You nailed it a lot better than I nailed whatever that accent was that I was doing. This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.